Hello everybody, welcome back today to another video. Today I want to show you guys one of my favorite openings in chess, and it's the fried liver attack. And I play it a lot. Sometimes it doesn't work well, sometimes it does, but this is just going to be like a short video explaining the fried liver attack, you know, and how much, what it could happen, and all that. And just, it's such a cool opening, and there are ways, your opponent can get out of this sort of thing, It's not like it's gonna like the best trap ever in the whole world, but it'll definitely, you know, it could work on some people. So the fried liver attack begins after playing e4, right? And then your opponent plays e5. You're gonna play knight to f3, getting a knight out and attacking the central pawn. They play knight to c6 to defend. Now you're gonna play bishop to c4, the Italian game. If they play knight to f6 here is where you can play the fried liver attack. Knight to g5. You are now officially attacking this square twice because at the beginning of the chess game, the f7 pawn, this pawn, is only defended by the king. So things like the fried liver attack or the scholar's checkmate, they are mostly aimed at this square because that's where the king is. And in chess you want to hunt the king down. So this trap isn't gonna, already you're not guaranteed to win. There are still many things that can happen. So what you have to do, if they play here d5, the most common move, the best move actually, what you're gonna do is just simply take the pawn. And if they decide to take back with the knight, you know, you can just simply sacrifice knight on f7 completely. If we look right here, Italian game knight attack normal variation. Italian game fried liver attack. The opening changes. It's kind of funny. And obviously now you're forking because the whole goal of knight to g5 is if they decide to play h6, then you can do this. For example, they can. That's not how the knight moves. They can hang this fork, and you're gonna be. Yeah, you're gonna be picking up a rook. So you're just gonna straight up sacrifice because you're forking now. And what this does is once the king takes, best move, it lures the king out into the open. Now you're gonna go queen to f3 check. Now, check to the king, obviously, but also a double attack on this knight now. And a lot of times they may go maybe king e8, simply bringing the king back. I don't want to put it into the middle of the board. That's wrong because you can take. You can take on d5, and now you're up a pawn. And a lot of your opponents, and a lot of people that I play knight to d4. They think they're winning. Because after here, you're attacking the queen here, and also threatening this fork. So you might have to move your queen. You're gonna move your queen. They think they're winning because they might pick up this bishop or get this fork going, but you could play maybe queen there to save that, and also, but then you drop the bishop. You could also just go queen e4. You're not gonna go backwards. You're gonna go forwards with Queen F7 checkmate. See, a lot of opponents blunder this checkmate. It's similar like the scholar's checkmate. And a lot of people get really mad at me whenever they do this. They say, stop trying to scholar's checkmate you. I'm playing the Italian game Fred Livertech. It says it right there. So they're just really upset that they lost the chess game that way. Okay, but what if my opponent doesn't play King E8? What if they play King G8 to hide in a corner? That fails immediately. They're thinking that their king is safe. Take this knight. With the queen or the bishop, doesn't really matter anyway. It's going to have the same outcome. Taking with the queen is more flashier because you can, if they take the queen, you take their queen with check. Notice how you can't go to this square because of this bishop, and you're also check to the king. So the king can't move anywhere. Surrounded by his pieces, can't even block. The only way to save the game is bishop e6, and then bishop takes e6 is simply just a checkmate. What if my opponent doesn't play there or there? What if they play, they can go basically anywhere else. King e7 still fails to this. Knight d5, queen f7, king d6, and then knight a3 to defend. You have a good position. Your opponent can no longer castle, and you're just gonna be hunting their king out for the rest of the game, hunting their king down. So what if they play king to e6, the best move? The king comes to the center of the open, butt naked, just trying to hold on to this knight. You can simply just play knight to c3 here, applying more pressure to this knight, because now the knight's pinned. So now you're playing more pressure. If they go, maybe knight to b4 here, which is the best move, it's very, very aggressive. Kind of like this, where they're trying to keep attacking you. Doesn't matter. You bring the bishop back, defend. They play c6 here. You can kick out this. That loses because now, you can do that. Kick out the knight. If they decide to try to trade queens, you simply play queen to e4, and then they're going to have to move their knight back, and then, they're probably, because otherwise you're going to capture this, you're going to capture the knight. So, they may play something like knight e7, just trying to pull it back. But that's bad because it blocks out this bishop from ever developing. That's not how that bishop moves. Because now, you can simply play d4. If they decide to, take this pawn, because they're material, why not? Then, you can simply play knight takes d5. If they take back, then, you can play bishop f4, developing. This knight's pinned, so can't take. And I'm sure you know how to win this position. They may try to, give you a check, and that's fine. You just go there. If they take, you take, they may. Wait, hold on. Yeah, loses one. I mean, they can probably give you a whole bunch of checks, but you're still gonna survive. So, Now you know what the for liver tech is. That's just not everything. Yeah, so but even though they're up like 3 points of material, you're still winning. Surprisingly. I don't know how. But they do. So yeah, this is just one of my favorite openings to play. So make sure if you want to have any suggestions for any openings, drop them in the comments and I'll probably make a video talking about it. So I'll see you later. Bye bye.